You wish. Oh god, am I gonna die? No. He doesn't know! He doesn't know! Long battles against Dragonair? Not what you want. Got him! Got them both! Let's go! Let's go! Here we are, we're looking at level 15. Dragonite in terms of attack. Now, Dragonite is an all-rounder, but I'm gonna guess since he's a new Pokemon, that doesn't mean he won't have crazy attack, crazy defense. Let's take a look. Dragonite, attack 495. That puts him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 5th place below Garchomp. So pretty strong in terms of attack. He is a physical attacker, so that's where we need to look. Special attack doesn't matter. Defense for Dragonite 415. That puts him just below Mr. Mime and above Serena. I don't know why people keep saying Serena is squishy. Serena is not squishy. She has some really good defense and she has abilities to keep her health up. But anyway, that's besides the point. Dragonite is 5 below Mr. Mime at level 15. That puts him pretty much in the same league as, you know, the defenders and the beefier supports. So that's pretty good. And we'll take a look at what his ability is, because that gives him more defense. Special defense for Dragonite level 15 is 316. That puts him above Lucario and almost to the top. He's like halfway down. So below Machamp, below Serena, and then here comes Slowbro, Greedent, Mr. Mime, the usual beefy characters. So special defense worse than his defense, but still not bad. So Dratini's boosted attack is a water attack, and it reduces the cooldown of your moves when it hits, and it also gives you HP. Seems pretty good. And then Dragonair's is an electric attack added on, so it'll switch between going water, electric, and the electric attack doesn't reduce cooldown, it does CC. So the two boosted attacks will switch. Starts water, gives HP, reduces cooldown, then goes to the CC one. Then you evolve into Dragonite, and he has the water, the electric, and in addition, he has the fire version, which deals additional damage to the opposing Pokemon. They put this character at Novice, but I'm sort of wondering if this particular setup makes it less of a Novice thing, because if you're switching between what effect you get every 3 boosted attacks, it feels like an inconsistency that you don't want to have to account for, but you have to remember that. If you think you're gonna get HP, but you actually end up just doing more damage and then you die, that would suck. So yeah, the basic attack is very interesting, but I think the reason why it works is because it pairs well with some of his abilities, so we're gonna look at those. But first, let's look at his passive ability, which also changes when he evolves into Dragonite. So I think Dratini and Dragonair have the same, yeah. So increased defense when they get it with a status condition, which is decent. I don't know how good that really is. It depends how much defense you get, but it's okay. But then Dragonite reduces damage the Pokemon receives, I guess when he gets hit. It doesn't say what the triggering is, but it should be when Dragonite gets hit. If it's not, then that'd be really weird. This move, it makes your next basic attack a boosted attack. So this is going to be similar to how Mamoswine plays, where you want to hit your boosted attack, throw your Ice Shard, hit your boosted attack, you know, do the specific order for the combo. So we go 1, 2, 3, Dragon Breath, 3, Twister. That's pretty good, right? And being that his boosted attack gives him HP, when you do that combo, you're going to get twice the amount of HP, as long as you do it in the correct order. So that seems pretty good. We have Dragon Dance, which has a 5-second cooldown, the lowest of all of his abilities. Has the user move to the designated location while performing a mystical dance, increasing the user's damage dealt, movement speed, and basic attack speed for a short time. During the short time, when one of the user's basic attacks hits an opposing Pokemon, it reduces this move's cooldown. Each time this move is used, the user's damage dealt increases up to 3 times. The fact that you get increased damage, increased movement speed, and increased basic attack speed is crazy because we already know how good the abilities are of the boosted attacks, right? Has the user leap at a designated opposing Pokemon and throw it. So you deal damage, you get some CC, decreases their movement speed, and looks like it resets multi-scale's cooldown. So I guess this is so that you can keep up your defense when you go in and chase after an opponent. So seems okay. Next we're gonna look at Hyper Beam because I want to save Outrage for last. It seems like the best move. Hyper Beam, which we know is not great in actual Pokemon, might actually be good here. It just looks like a really strong attack. It hits in a straight line and moves upward, so it can hit anyone who's in that path. And I remember seeing that Dragon Dance pairs with Hyper Beam, but maybe they changed that? Yeah, maybe the information that was online was before they actually implemented it, because they found that some of the abilities were maybe too strong. In addition to the beam's base damage, it also deals additional damage to opposing Pokemon. It hits equal to a set percentage of their max HP. The user is left unable to act for a short time after using this move. Has the user start rampaging, stomping the ground, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect. Also triggers the additional effect of the most recently used boosted basic attack once again. During the rampage, all of the user's basic attacks become special melee boosted attacks with increased attack speed. When the rampage ends, the user is left unable to act for a short time. Yeah, so this is the part that I thought sounded really, really good. All the user's basic attacks become special melee boosted attacks with increased attack speed. That's insane because you're just going in a cycle of increased health, CC, increased damage, increased health, CC, increased damage. If that's how it works, that's how it sounds to me right now. So I'm thinking this is probably the one you want to go with over Hyper Beam, but to start off, we'll do like the moveset that sounds weaker, and then we'll go with what seems better. Draco Impact has the user fly high into the air before crashing down with several comets on a designated area, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect and throwing them. I'm guessing it just throws them upward. The farther the user flies, the more the Unite move gauge is consumed. While this Unite move is being used, the user becomes immune to hindrances. From what I've seen, this has a huge area of effect, so seems pretty good. But we'll have to see how it really works. Muscle Band's probably really good, so you can increase your attack speed so you can get the boosted attacks. Focus Band is usually a good choice, but let's keep looking at what we can get. Based on Dragonite's abilities, it sounds like if you fight him for a long period of time, you're probably going to lose, because he's going to keep getting the HP boost, and he's going to keep getting the defense, right? I usually just go Razor Claw if I'm not sure. The best part of this is that it slows down the opponent. Yeah, we'll just go Razor Claw. So we'll go Muscle Band, Focus Band, Razor Claw. A fairly standard build for a physical attacker. I think part of Dragonite's moveset is deciding whether or not you want to stay completely long range, or if you want to be a brawler Dragonite, right? Because let's say you wanted to be a brawler Dragonite. You would choose Outrage Extreme Speed, right? Because you can constantly CC, you can chase your opponent, you can dash in, you can do really strong melee attacks, right? But what if you don't want to do that? Instead, you can use your regular attack, which is ranged. You can take Dragon Dance, which allows you to move a little bit away from your opponent if you're, already ranged. And then you can use that to power up your Hyper Beam, which is also a long range move, right? So you can decide for yourself, am I a more aggressive player or am I a more defensive player? For me specifically, I'm a more defensive player, so I should actually probably be trying out some more long range Dragonite builds. That was a pretty bad Dragonite play, but it seems like you can make the early games work for Dratini and Dragonair, but then, Dragonite seems a little bit Oonga Boonga, right? Come here! The only thing that might be difficult with Dragonite, I think, is using your ults. Because you have to use that at very specific times to get really anything out of it, I think. So after playing a number of games with Dragonite, I have to say he feels pretty good, but thankfully my initial impression of him being broken is not the case. I don't think that this character is broken. Overall though, if you're looking at this character's abilities, early game feels a little bit weak, but you can really make up for it by learning the ideal order of your attacks, right? So you want to go boosted attack, dragon breath, and then another boosted attack, and that will allow you to get the most out of your boosted attacks, and that'll allow you to do the most damage. And I think you'll probably end up catching some people off guard if you do that. It's like doing burst damage, just not quite as quickly. Twister is a fine move, whatever, but like I said, you can do a ranged build. I think Dragon Dance and Hyper Beam is good for that. Hyper Beam is really strong. You just have to know when to use it, and you can make the most out of it. You can get huge damage, you can steal objectives, and you can, catch your opponents while they're trying to run away. If you want your melee set, you can go Extreme Speed and Outrage. It seems like a very good set, as long as you make sure your build has, the focus band, and make sure you're paying attention to the cooldown of focus band, paying attention to your health, paying attention to whether or not your teammates are with you, because if you find an opponent by themselves, or even two opponents, and you are one level above, you hit Extreme Speed, you hit the CC, you hit Outrage, again you hit CC, and then you're just cycling through Water, Electric, Fire, boosted attack, which allows you to keep regaining health, keep hitting CC, keep doing increased damage, which is crazy. So yeah, feels like a very good character. Just make sure you're not, getting caught in very bad situations, without your team, or where they have, an advantage under their tower or whatever it is. The only thing I would say is bad about this character is I think that Dragonite's Unite move is very, very limited in use. You're probably going to be using this more so for movement and for trying to steal objectives more than you're going to be using it to try and do a huge amount of damage to your opponent, because the opponent can see the giant circle that you're going to land on, and they can move out of the way very easily. It's super slow. If you're going to use it in a team fight, maybe you'll be able to hit someone, but it's really slow. I don't think you're going to be able to hit this once you get to a high enough level and players understand just move out of the way of the circle. But if, for example, you want to fly all the way across the map, you can do that. And, using up your Unite move specifically to be able to move to the other side of the map kind of seems worth it, right? Because what if your opponents were attacking your towers and most of them died, or all of them died, right? Now you're in a situation where they're on a huge cooldown to come back to life. Maybe you just hit your Unite move and you fly over to their tower and you score. So you can take advantage of the long cooldown that opponents have when they die. If you really like Dragonite and you're willing to give up the 10,000 coins, I'd say that it is worth it, but just know that 10,000 coins is not going to convert into an OP character. I don't think that this Pokemon is OP. You're going to have to get a good understanding of how to use your ranged attacks, what's a good position to be in, because you can get bursted down pretty quickly. And I don't think Dragonite has a lot of tools to escape. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a good grasp of, where the opponent is, whether or not you should actually engage in a fight, whether or not you should just run away. This is no Lucario or Crustle where you can just run in and do whatever you want and run out. I do think that this Pokemon can fit a lot of playstyles, but if there is one type of player I would not recommend Dragonite to, it'd probably be the kind of player who likes to play Decidueye or Gardevoir, right? Because those Pokemon have a lot more range than Dragonite normally. I'm not talking about the Unite move, but normally those characters can do a lot more from way farther away, and Dragonite does need to get relatively close to the opponent to start doing damage, even as a ranged all-rounder. You can keep a little bit of a distance away from your opponent, but you're not going to be keeping the same distance from your opponent as a Decidueye or a Gardevoir. So if you're the type of person who doesn't deal well with having to figure out that mid-range, Dragonite might be a difficult character to play for you. If you're interested in Dragonite and you don't think that you will struggle with the mid-range, I recommend it. If there's a Pokemon that you think you might want to buy more in the future and you're not someone who plays a lot, 10,000 coins is pretty steep, so, you know, make sure you're thinking about whether or not you actually will want to use your coins later. Because, I mean, you can still just wait to, you know, earn more coins before you buy Dragonite, right? You can earn more coins, wait to see who the next Pokemon is, and then if they're not to your liking, go with Dragonite. Feels like a good character. I think you can have fun with Dragonite and you can be competitive with Dragonite.